Welcome to a new video in my home automation series, and that's going to be another Dashboard 2.0 video because I just kept playing around with new things that I find in the Viewtify components. And actually I'm not going to talk about this image carousel, but which I did recently, and it's just an image rotator. There's nothing special about that, but I wanted to implement these notifications. So like, you know how you usually find in web pages that you get like an icon on the top right, usually in the title bar, and then you get notifications, and it shows a number of notifications you have, and you click on it, you can see the notifications, and you can just you know, click any of them, and then you dismiss that notification, and then now you just have 4 that you need to deal with. So that's what we are going to look at now, because there are some interesting stuff here, how you can create these, and things that I haven't really covered in any of the previous videos. Okay, so let's go to this example here. So the actual example, is only this much here, and these navigation bar buttons. So basically the trick here is that there is a possibility in the dashboard how you can teleport something into a different place of the page. So normally, you know, you have you know, like a UI control which you displayed in a group, and of course it will appear in the group in the same order that you know, specified in the sidebar when you can configure the orders. But obviously you don't have a group in the title bar, or you don't have status bar or a place in the status bar. So if you want to place anything which is outside these, then there is an option here which is called a teleport. So this basically says that you can, whatever you have inside the teleport, you can teleport it to a specific DOM object. And the app bar of the Dashboard 2.0 is called app bar actions. That's basically, you know, this side of the, I guess it's basically anything right off the title of the page, which is the app bar actions. So you can see that I want to teleport this to the app bar actions, and within that I have created a button. So I created a simple button which is, you know, XL size and large and XL rounding, and if it's clicked, then it sends a payload clicked, and within that it has a badge. So this is the icon with a wrench, and the badge is that small you know, well, that's basically the red badge with a number. So in the badge you can have a couple of different things. You can have a separate color. I also added an offset, so it's more further up and out, because otherwise it was too close to the icon. And within the badge you can and of course that badge has a value as well, which is coming from the value counter. So that shows number 4 at the moment, but of course it can be a text or it can be anything, but I think it makes more sense to have like a smaller thing, which like a number. And within the badge I also created an icon. So that's actually the wrench icon which is displayed here. So everything is in a button that I can click, and that renders this light blue area, and then within that I have a badge and an icon, and that's it. And in the function, so in this template node, I had created a few other things as well. So we have a counter, which is by default is 0, and we also have a value, which is actually this comes from another example. I don't really need to use this one as well. So that will become useful for the second example when we have the drop down which shows the list. And we have a watch function which says that if we receive a payload, then we expect the payload to be the actual number, and that we update that with the counter. Update that to the counter. So I have 2 examples here. So this sends a number 0, and this sends a number 4. So if I send this, then this becomes 0, and if I send 4, this becomes 4. So this is how you can update the badge number. And if you don't want numbers, actually you can create badges which only have like a dot with different colors. So you can have like a green that everything is fine, you can have red. So that's the simple thing. But then the other thing is that if you click, then you get these things as well, the items. And the way this works is that we create a list here, which by default is hidden. And within the list, we have each of these list items are actually cards. So this is the card icon, this is the card title, this is the card subtitle, and also there are actions. So these are this dismiss all is an action button within the card. So the way it works is that, again, I send in all these basically messages. So it has an ID, it has a title, a subtitle, an icon, and I have an action and a page, which we are going to talk about later. Or the action is only dismiss. But let's see how the UI looks first. So in the template node, I have a teleport, which again teleports all these settings into the app bar. And sorry, I said it's a list. No, it's a menu. So I have a menu, and I also had to do some of these, activator props, and that defines what is going to activate the menu. So in the menu is activated by a props, and this props is actually the not this one. Where is the props? Oh yeah, is the button here. So that's the props. So the message badge outline. This is the message badge outline. So that's the icon, and the icon, it has a badge which shows the number, and it's included in a button. So this is the icon, the badge, and the button. So that's exactly the same as the previous example. The only difference is that this template has it defines that it's an activator, and there is there is a v-bind just to tell the template which button actually works as an activator. Okay, so that's one, and then we have the rest of the stuff, which is we have the menu, and then before that after it we have all the cards. So that's the card which appears within the menu. Or I probably should say that the menu, the card itself is the menu. So the card has items, and then it has actions, which is this button. So the items are, and then the items are appearing in a list. So you can see it's a V list, and I defined that it has 2 lines. So it's basically controls the appearance of the items within the list. And for the list items are bind to the items, which that just bind to the items. And all these items have a key. It has a value, a title, a subtitle, the icon. So that's basically comes from here. So we have ID, title, subtitle, and the icon. So that renders all the things that you see in the list. So you can see the icon, the title, and the subtitle. And for all these lists, I also created an action. So when clicked, it sends a message which has the topic, and it sends the item. So the whole item which got selected. And then that's the end of the vlist. And then we have a little bit of a divider, which is basically this line. And then we have the card actions, and the card actions is a dismiss all button, which sends a message with the topic dismiss all. And that's the end of the menu, the card, and the teleport, and that's it. So it has here the variable mounted makes sense, because the mounted is it is displayed here. So you can see that teleport v if mounted. So that controls whether the menu appears or not. And I guess the way Vue renders this whole thing, that it notes that this template here is the props which actually activates the menu. So that needs to be displayed all the time, but the rest of it, which is the V card, is hidden, and it's only shown when this mounted value is set to true. So yeah, by default it false, and the items by default it's empty. And when a message is received, so you can see that we put the payload into the items, which automatically renders each of the list in the card. And then we set the counter to the item's length. So we don't have to send the number, it automatically gets determined based on how many items we have in an array. And I needed to add this style. Again, this is not something that I come up with on my own, because by default, all of this list was had this this blue color, because I think that's the primary color of this page. But of course I need the background of the group, so there is basically a style override here for this particular template, which defaults the background to the group background color. So that's all the things to it. Again, if you want to reuse this, you don't really have to change anything here. I mean, you can change the icon, but the rest of it is getting determined automatically based on the message which comes in. And I also added some, in order to test this, I created these things where, if you click on this, it automatically generates a new message, randomly, which looks like a home automation message. And the other thing which works in this one is you click on this item because, oh, okay, now I read this item, and then it just disappears. So you can just, hide them all, or you can do dismiss all, and it hides all of them. And the way it works is that if I go to the debug, you should be able to see that, for example, I clicked on dismiss all, so it just sends a message dismiss all. And if I select a message like device offline, if I select this one, maybe I should go back. So if I select the rain report, then it just dismisses. But you can see that I have selected the rain report. So weather alert, dismiss, thunder. Oh, was it the other one? So this is what I selected. So that's how it's rain report. It's here. That's the other one I selected. So this is how the node knows that I have selected something, and it just sends this information out in the output port. So you can see that that's the thing that picked up. So what I can do is that's where some of the other things in the object come into play. So it has an action, and I said that the default action is dismiss. So you click on it and the message just disappeared. And sometimes you want to also navigate to a different page, because let's say that page has the information about the sensor or whatever. So I also included another action, which is navigate, and then the name of the page. So testing a new design. So if I if I reset the original 3 items, and if I select the first one, you can see that it navigates to a different page. And the way I have done this is in the topic, I look at whether the topic is selected or dismiss all. So whether I selected an item or click the dismiss all button. And by the way, in the handle messages, you can see that it's if it's dismiss all, it deletes all the messages. If it's selected, then it deletes that selected message, and again assumes that the rest of the code deals with the message. For example, it deals with the navigation. So if I selected the navigate, then if this was selected, and if the action is dismissed, then again the information just goes back to the handle messages node. But if it's navigate, then I execute the page navigation. So you can just create this UI control. It was available in dashboard 1.0 as well, but I haven't used it, and available in dashboard 2.0 as well. So you just tie it to a UI page, and then you say that in the payload you just have to send in the name of in the page attribute within the payload, you have to send in the name of the page that you want to navigate to. So here I have pages which says testing new design, and here I say page, testing new design. So I just pass this over and it picks up this page, testing new design, and it just navigates to that page. So it's as easy as that. And as I said, then everything is piped back to here, which just removes that entry from the list, and that's it. So you can see that it's it's fairly easy to handle these. And I still have 2 items. I can just hide them, and there is like nothing. And I can add 2 more items. Now I have 2 more items, and they don't really do anything. But it was just fun to see these things. For testing. So if you want to use this for your own project, then basically you can just copy and paste my entire flow, and instead of this generate random items, you just have to send in your item. The only thing is that it has to have a topic of add, and just like here, it has to have a title, a subtitle, an icon, and an action, which by default is dismissed, or if the action is navigated, then you have to have a page and the name of the page. And by the way, you don't have to do the ID, because here in the code there is a logic which automatically assigns an ID for each of the items. Because again, when you click on it and you look at what you receive in a debug, you receive the entire object back, like this one, and I use the ID to be able to find the ones that needs to be deleted. So the title wouldn't be unique, I guess. So this is why I'm adding an ID for every single one of them. So I know which one got selected, and I can match it with the entry in the global list, which actually is stored in a context. So you can see, well, it is called, it's called messages, which is empty. No, it has 1. So yeah, it has 1. And it has an ID of 2 because I deleted the ID of 1, but the code is smart enough that if I insert the next one, then it becomes ID 1, even though it's the second one, but nobody cares. It doesn't have to be in the order. So yeah, I have another one. So I think it's really good. It's cool. I like it. And the other quirk is that in this template node, I created this as page scoped instead of UI scoped. So what happens now is that I get these 2 buttons here, but if I change to another page, they are not appearing because they are only scoped to a page. But obviously you probably want to, if you want to use this, you want to set it to UI scoped, so it appears on all the pages of your UI. But yeah, and as usual, I'm going to put the link to this entire flow in the video description, so you can download it, you can play around with it. If you only need the second one, you can just delete everything which is up here, and as I said, you can create your own input messages, and they just work. And the rest of the code here is going to handle the dismissal and deleting the messages once selected. And as usual, what I have also explained in all my other messages, when you do these, or when you add these nodes, just make sure that you always update the UI. So you link it to the UI that you have created or you are using in both of these, well, both of the template buttons and also in this UI navigation. So you make sure that you do that. And then once done with that, in the configuration nodes, you delete the second UI base. So just make sure that you end up only with 1 UI base. Otherwise, you will get an error on your dashboard 2.0, which, I mean, you can remedy this error afterwards as well, but maybe it's easier if you do it up front. So I think that will be all for today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video.